So one of the main differences between these clickers and clickers commercially available at the moment is we have lots of different options. So there's 3 different styles of clicker, and then there's a pack that combines the whole lot. So there's kind of a theory behind all of them. The first one, for example, here is just our standard straight clicker. So what we've done with this clicker here is we've actually widened the end cap. So the end part of the clicker that goes over your arrow is a lot wider than most commercially available clickers at the moment. Usually these clickers as well would have a metal cap on the end of it. What I found with the metal cap is if you're shooting lots of arrows, eventually they just fall off. They don't last. It's a really small surface area to have any decent amount of glue, and it just comes off, usually at the most inconvenient time in the middle of a competition as well, which is not what you want. So by removing this cap, which is what a lot of archers do at the moment as well, if you look back over the last couple of years at archers shooting with a carbon clicker, a lot of them have removed the end cap of the clicker and are just shooting with carbon on carbon. The benefit of carbon on carbon as well is you're not kind of getting that scraping against your arrow as you come back to full draw. It makes that really loud kind of noise as you've got metal scraping against the carbon. So it's much nicer during the draw as well. So that's our straight clicker. The other one we have is our straight leg clicker. So this one doesn't have a bend in it. So this one here is a lot more soft than the leg clicker with a bend. The theory behind this one is for archers that shoot arrows through the clicker, which does happen a lot more than some of us would like to admit. If this happens with this clicker, you're much less likely to have an arrow just completely miss the target because this clicker is so soft. You're going to lose a little bit of the noise with this one because it's not as sharp as the clickers with the bend. But what's going to happen if you have an arrow that goes through the clicker, it's going to be way more forgiving for you. This third one we have is the same shape, but with a bend in it as well. So it's still got that nice shape, but as the arrow comes through the clicker, it's a much more pronounced click noise. The benefit of having the clicker on this shape is that when you come to full draw, the tip of your arrow is sitting parallel with the clicker, whereas if you're using a straight clicker, as you move your draw length out, the clicker comes on more of an angle. So what this will do is will always keep the tip of your arrow flat in relation to the end of your clicker. And it's got a really fine tip at the end of it there, so it's a really small bit of carbon as your arrow comes back to full draw and you're expanding those last few millimeters. So it gives you a different option to feel. It's not necessarily better than the straight clicker because that's got a wider end to it, but it means as an archer, if you're looking for a specific type of feel or type of noise, you've got the option to kind of feel out which one works best for you. So that's the 3 individual ones. They also come in a pack which includes all 3 styles of clickers and also your different end caps as well. So with the end cap, you'd find as well, if you look back 3 photos of some of the top recurve archers, they would use one specific brand of clicker, they'd remove the end cap, and then they'd use a screw from another brand of clicker to kind of make what their ideal clicker setup would be. With this, we've kind of put that all into the one. So again, it's all carbon. The end cap itself is carbon, and you've got a little kind of hexagon shaped head that sits into a recess inside of this cap, and then you use the wrench, also carbon, to tighten it up. So in the past, a lot of clickers, the screw that would go inside of this cap had a little kind of flathead recess in it. Because it's so small and the threads you're working with are so small as well, it's really easy to just strip that out, and it doesn't actually give you a whole lot of benefit when you're tightening the clicker. And also some of them just didn't even come with wrenches. They just had a very kind of uncomfortable shape cap you had to try and dig your fingers in to really tighten, and then as you tighten your clicker would move and you'd have all sorts of dramas with your clicker coming loose during competition. With this system, this wrench fits perfectly around the cap and you can lock it down really, really tight. and you're not worrying about stripping out any threads or having to use any tools or anything like that, not having to have a flathead available. All you need is this wrench. The other option we've got here is, because you can buy the wrench and the caps separately, if you do have a clicker you're using already that you really like the feel of, you really like the noise of, say you like using a metal clicker for example, but you're sick of it moving, we have the ability to, you have the ability to purchase these options separately. So you can buy a wrench separately, you can buy the end caps separately, and put this onto your existing clicker as well if you're wanting something that's just not going to move on you. So you have the ability to kind of customize the shooting feel that you want, whether it means going out and getting a pack of 3 so you can kind of try them all, whether it means you really like your existing clicker and you just want something to be able to lock it down and not have it move. There's lots of different options within these clickers. It gives you a little bit of versatility as well.
I've shot with this clicker for months now, and I've qualified for the Olympic trials next year by shooting 3 qualifying scores, domestic PBs, international PBs. I finished second at the Australian Open and top 8 at an Asia Cup with this clicker. I really love the distinctive noise. Others have commented on it saying that they really like the noise. It's super easy to tighten. It's not going anywhere, and it's available at E1Archery.com.
I'm Kane Wilson, and I'm here to review the E1 Archery leg clicker and the E1 Archery straight clicker. I actually won the 2023 National Australian Open with this clicker. So it's got to be a great product, doesn't it? Now, some of my favourite features with these clickers are the natural bend that they've engineered into the carbon. Now, what's that's going to do is give you a lot firmer click when it goes off, which I really like. Another feature that I really like about the leg clicker specifically is the straight edge under the heel. It means the click is coming straight down over the arrow, which means that if you're like me and put your clicker in and then out at the end of every session to protect things in case they get bashed around in your bag or in the car, that when you come to the same setting each time, because it's coming straight down and not on an angle, you're pretty much going to get the exact same spot every single time. So if you look at that, if I can do this backwards, coming straight through like so, it's that straight edge just there, click, bang. Now, also for some reason, no idea why, but I've gotten away with arrows that I've shot through the clicker with these ones. Don't recommend it, but I don't know, somehow more forgiving. I think the leg just gives it a kick on the way out. Somehow works. I'm looking forward to the stiletto edition too. That'll be cute. You can pick these up at ElizaArchery.com and E1Archery.com. And I highly recommend go out and buy one.